Welcome to Chatter, here are the top 5 tech briefings of the day. We'll talk about AI replacing engineers at Meta, smart glasses, the LA Wildfire app, Google Deep Research, and Zoox robotaxi. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Another day, another robotaxi, Zoox is here. Zoox, bought by Amazon in 2020, is expected to begin public testing in Las Vegas this year. And this is a very exciting story. Last week there was CES, and participants were allowed to take a test drive in the latest Zoox model. These were obviously modified, so these are not the production-ready models that they have, but they sort of gave participants a glimpse in terms of what the experience would be like. And overall, it has been pretty good. Like we've seen several accounts where the robotaxis solve critical situations with ease, like handling crashes or merging lanes, etc. But also we see the typical problems associated with robotaxi, maybe a less aggressive driver style that we already know from Waymo. But the interesting aspect is that now we have a real competitor in the space for Waymo and Tesla. Zoox obviously has the financial backing from Amazon, so there's a lot of capital. And now with they having already a permit within Las Vegas to do testing, at least close to the public, they're hoping to gain a permit to actually allow ride-hailing within that city. And once that happens, they actually would have a leg up on Tesla. So now that these companies are all coming together, I think it will be beneficial for consumers that multiple companies could potentially offer autonomous ride-hailing services. And as always, you could read the whole article alongside our takeaways within the chatter-io app. Will Google Deep Research replace research? Google Deep Research could redefine workflows with comprehensive reports available in mere minutes. And this is one of the first products that really leveraged the new reasoning skills that the large language models unlocked towards the end of last year. So we've seen, for instance, O3 coming out of OpenAI and also the update with Gemini 1.5. And so what Google Deep Research does is, rather than just responding to your prompt, it gives you an outline in terms of, you can tell them to, hey, give me a market study about selling computer games, and it will start, well, I would look at the market size, I would look at competitors. It gives you an outline that you can then engage with. So you can say, well, you should spend more time maybe in this area and less time on that area, and definitely look into more of maybe this sort of game style, etc. And then it will run the AI itself to then fill in all these pieces that you initially outlined, and they using web research, so it's not just bound by knowledge that the model might have from pre-training. And this is pretty impressive. So I've tried it out myself and the results were very good. What I would say is that still hallucinations is a problem. So not all the results you will get, they will seem legit. But when you double check certain quotes, they will actually not real quotes, or certain numbers that actually didn't come up. So the model was just hallucinating. With that being said, this is pretty good. So my takeaway was that there's basically no excuse if you don't do your research. At least basic research could be done now within like 10-15 minutes, just using a tool like O3 or Google Deep Research. It's practically free for someone in a corporate environment. So obviously the cost for a private user is still steep, like $200 for OpenAI's model. Still, basic research that you can just do within a few minutes that has basic quality, just as a baseline to then further go into the materials provided or additional materials to form a real thesis, is really now a baseline, what you could expect in a professional environment. Next story, the viral LA Wildfire app. Over 1.5 million downloads in just a few days show Watch Duty's critical role. This story is really impressive. We've seen from the COVID times that these apps, they pop up rather quickly, and they've never done by a public institution or a government. They usually, entrepreneurs come up with these point solutions that target a specific use case in a critical situation because they have the speed and the knowledge to bring these two things together. And so basically what Watch Duty did is they aggregated multiple data points that are relevant for the current situation in LA. So they can show you where their current fires are, wind, weather, so that you as a user, your key interest is, well, where does it burn? Am I in danger? You pull up the app and it will tell you exactly if you're in danger. And this is just such an impressive result for something that was just created by volunteers or by people who thought about this topic or thought it might become a risk eventually. Now that they've gained some traction, they're now hiring full-time employees, and it obviously gets more professional. I'm just I'm just torn a bit. Like on the one side, I think it's very impressive and so important that entrepreneurs can save a lot of lives potentially by bringing innovative solutions to market quickly in times of emergency. But they're also now learning from all the COVID apps that we had maybe a few years ago, there might be just a short shelf life for these apps. And well, in an ideal situation, a short shelf life for emergency apps is good because it would mean that the emergency is over. Let's talk about something innovative. Are smart glasses smart yet? Renewed interest and investor backing highlight the potential of smart glasses. I think since I become of professional age, like a decade ago, smart glasses have been a thing in one way or the other. It always has been just around the corner to see that science fiction vision of you just putting on the glasses and you're seeing reality, but it's augmented, it's better, and it's intuitive, and it's sleek. And it never really materialized. And we've seen a lot of companies go into that space and fail. Even recently, the Apple Vision Pro has been a disappointing sales result, at least. And we've seen a lot of these smart glasses that came up in the last couple of years have been failing because there's no real use cases for these glasses just yet. I will admit, I looked at the glasses that are now presented at CES last week, and they're looking sleeker. So the design definitely has improved, and I think that's one of the major things that needs to happen because no one wants to wear a heavy, ugly thing with battery tied around your back or your neck or somewhere. It needs to be simple and sleek. For some use cases, that's already possible, but then the capabilities are fairly limited. So for instance, I looked at one company called Camelo. They do these glasses for sporting use cases. So for instance, you have overlays in terms of like heart rate maybe, or automatic features like regulating the shade based on how the sun is shining. So these are smart features, but they're not really that smart in terms of, augmented reality controlling your life and helping you control certain apps. So I think there's still a long way to go for these glasses to grow beyond these niche use cases, but they already now provide a path going forward. And I think what Meta and Ray-Ban's collaboration has shown is that if you nail the design, and there's a somewhat useful use cases like taking pictures, then people are going to be interested in these glasses. And then you can grow from there. Last up, I think the interview with Mark Zuckerberg went somewhat viral. Who does not need mid-level engineers? Meta, apparently. Meta aims to automate mid-level engineering tasks by 2025, where salaries currently nearing mid-six figures. So this is an impressive feat. It's like the sheer amount of salary that these people are making is a fact in itself. Like if you look at charts of median salary, average salary in a region, and then you compare it to engineers at Meta, it's a whole different ballgame. It's literally 10 times that amount. And what I found really surprising as an outsider, at least, is then if you take a step back and you see the reviews or the reactions from Mark Zuckerberg's interview, is that specifically in the subreddits where developers are hanging out, they see this as really critical because obviously the code quality from AI coding is suboptimal. It gets you, maybe 70-80% there, but not all the way. And for a product that needs 100% uptime and reliance, it's just very critical that you do it perfectly, specifically for products like Meta that have to work literally at scale for billions of users at the same time. At the same time, I think AI always has been one of the prime use cases for large language models. Coding is the thing that has clear rules, so it enables AI to just learn really fast on what good looks like. And so it's just maybe a matter of when AI will be good enough to replace maybe junior engineers, mid-level engineers, whatever it be. What I think is more important, and I hope it's that people in tech realize this sooner rather than later, is how will that shift the role or the job requirements of an engineer? Because if you can direct AI to do certain parts of your work, be it smaller parts, larger parts, depending on your experience or your level of how comfortable you are using AI, then your role changes from, seeing a card of what features need to be built and then executing on building code. It shifts over to directing AI to execute on certain tasks. And so that shift the mindset that I'm not an executor anymore, I'm someone who can direct technology, is, I think, the skill set that is required to change within the development space or within the tech space. And whoever does that better, and if coding AI develops much faster, that will certainly tell who the winners will be from this technological change. So with that being said, check out our app. You can read all the stories by yourself. You don't have to listen to me going through all of them one by one. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for listening.